Well, we've talked about what workflow orchestrators are in a kind of more generic sense. Let's hop right into Dolphin Scheduler. David, since you're the chair of Apache Dolphin Scheduler, and somebody's going to come up to you on the street and ask you, "Hey, what is it that you're working on? And what are you all doing with Dolphin Scheduler?" How do you explain that to them if in a couple sentences?
Dolphin Scheduler is a modern data workflow orchestration tool. What is different from other orchestration tools is because we provide a powerful user interface. We dedicated to solving complex dependencies in the data pipeline, and we provide many types of tasks, such as Spark and Flink, Python share. We provide many data source, such as Trino, Presto, or other data source. So we wanted to make every type of jobs available out of the box. So
this isn't. Can I ask you a quick question? So when you say out of the box, and all these tasks are, these aren't just tasks that are, if you think about like Uzi, for instance, Uzi was very much like only handling jobs that were happening on HDFS. You're talking about tasks that could be literally like a shell command, or it could be. I've seen a couple on your website actually that like that interface with Kubernetes or Terraform and these types of tools that do CI/CD scaffolding and things like that. So this is much bigger than just like big data orchestrator. This is dealing with a much more generic sense of types of tasks that you can handle. Is that correct?
Yeah, correct.
Okay. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, and actually, what we want is create a developing platform for the big data developers, and they just can edit their SQL or Shell or Python or Kubernetes or Spark, any big data code on Apache Dolphin Scheduler, and then they can arrange them into the DAG job, and then they can run in the DAG. Then the workflow orchestration will do the other things. So that's what we want, is to let people develop big data program easily.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. I one thing that really sticks out to me is this last line, the powerful DAG visual interface. So I know we've had visual interfaces, but particularly, so even Airflow has like a visual interface, but you all are particularly focusing on this drag and drop first notion. Could you dive into why that's so important and what use cases you want to enable on drag and drop?
Yeah, actually, it's very interesting because I think the main user of a Dolphin Scheduler at first is the data analyst. It's not a data engineer, So there's many data analysts. They just know SQL, and they for example, they can write SQL on TrinoDB, or they can write SQL on Spark SQL or Hive or something like that, but they cannot let that SQL run every day in some order. So what they need is to want some tools to just they can use to create all workflow with no code. So the first version of Dolphin Scheduler is to just you can drag and drop, and then you can write a SQL or Python or something or shell in the I think it's a text box, and then you can create the job and trigger in dependency, just a drag from one task to the other, and then the whole workflow will run. So
gotcha.
That's why Dolphin Scheduler is quite different from Airflow or Uzi or Azkaban.
Gotcha.
And yeah.
So the goal, the goal, kind of the philosophy, I should say, like the kind of core philosophy is that you're still trying to provide the similar APIs that preceding the preceding orchestrators have done in the past, so that engineers still have their same tools, but you want to take off some of their responsibilities by offering yet another low code or no code type solution that enables them to basically just interact with, hey, I have this function that, let's say, a data engineer even wrote, and they can reuse this same script or this same kind of modular piece that is very specific to my organization or my team, and I'm going to reuse this multiple times. So the data engineer's job starts at defining that, writing the code initially, but then after that's been defined and tested well, right, then you can reuse that as kind of this piece that is now what an analyst or a BI engineer or any person that's kind of wanting to facilitate and make the data workflow happen, they can now define that once those initial kind of building blocks are created, and they essentially build that workflow themselves and can manage it and do all of the visualizations that they'll be able to do through the UI. Is that kind of the philosophy and the core driver for Dolphin Scheduler?
Yeah, and actually we want more and more people to use big data tools, not only engineer, but also data analysts and other people who can use big data quickly, I think, or more efficiently.
Yeah, I totally think I totally agree with that. I think that is partially where this whole concept of data mesh. I'm not sure how popular this is in China, but here in the States, and we've been really diving in on this concept, popularized starting from ThoughtSpot. I almost said ThoughtSpot. ThoughtWorks, which was popularized by Zhamak Dehghani. It's this kind of idea of data mesh. So self-service kind of layer that brings back to not just necessarily even analysts, but you think about software engineers that are working in a particular domain of your company. They're providing some sort of services around the project, and all the way from the web interaction that you get with the customer, all the way down to the back-end services that they're doing. And then what we had traditionally done is centralized everything to some data team, but now data mesh is a way that we're trying to actually split that out and bring back some of the responsibilities back up to the software engineers, the data analysts again. And doing a workflow orchestrator in this way, I think, is a very kind of complementary story, where you're giving that capability back to end users and giving more self-service capabilities, so that they're also able to kind of have a say at the table of how this data gets set up. And it's not getting rid of data engineers by any means. It's just it's kind of taking off some of those those overlapping tasks that data engineers literally had for literally maybe 15 years now, where they have been, constantly centralized and having to take all of these requests from all these different end users and do it for everybody, right? And so therefore nobody was getting their work done. This is a way of optimizing that workflow and giving everybody else that responsibility back. and that autonomy essentially. So very, very interesting. Very interesting. Great. Well, is there, do you want, before we hop on to kind of, more details about how Dolphin Scheduler works, is there anything in terms of the definition or what Dolphin Scheduler is that you want to cover that we may have missed?
So I think in one sentence, Dolphin Scheduler is it's a distributed and workflow orchestration tools with powerful DAG visualization interface. We will just talk about the DAG interface, but actually Dolphin Scheduler has another feature. We call it the high availability and high performance, because we just design with the architect with multi master and multi workers. So the performance is very well, and it can just support. I heard some users use Dolphin Scheduler to support more than 2 million tasks in one day. And typical users are more than 1 million tasks in one day. So the performance is really good. So I think it's another feature of Dolphin Scheduler.
One thing I think we forgot to ask about Dolphin Scheduler.
What's that?
Why is it called Dolphin? Who named it?
Oh, yeah, that's actually a good point.
Yeah, it's we love Dolphin very much, and Dolphin have 2 brands, the left brand and the right brand, and just like Apache Dolphin Scheduler is have many worker and many masters. So Dolphin didn't sleep, right? And he just swim all the time. Sometimes the left brain is sleeping, and sometimes the right brain is sleeping. So Apache Dolphin Scheduler is something just like a dolphin, because it's very smart and it never sleep because it has many masters.
Wow. I really appreciate that. I really appreciate that analogy. And dolphins are cute, right? That's another good aspect of it. But now that you bring in I actually did not know that about dolphins, and that is a really great analogy. We actually love animal analogies here. In fact, we've started to name a lot of our projects after different animals. Like we have the tardigrade, which were these like microscopic creatures that never die. They regenerate and can basically come back from the dead. And so that was like our task that would die. It would basically regenerate and come back. There's also, hummingbird. It's another project where the hummingbird is these really fast and very quick and flexible and adaptable, which is now our next query optimization techniques. So I think the animal parallels and amazing things that we see in nature, modeling those after things that we're trying to do kind of in big data and data workflows and systems. It's always really fun to make those analogies. So anyways, that's kind of an aside thing, but very cool. I like that a lot, that analogy now. So high availability, I think that's not anything that's too foreign for anybody that's, working with big data. Even we don't have actually high availability with our coordinator or anything like that. But we do have now, especially with fault tolerance capabilities, abilities to kind of support some of these fault tolerance capabilities from that. And then for the high availability from like an actual availability perspective, there's all these other things that we've done in the community to kind of make that available. So I don't think that that's a foreign concept. It's a very much like thing that we've come to expect on the big data side. So it's great to know that Dolphin Scheduler also follows in that. And there's a bit of a thing that we're going to cover in a little bit, which is this monitoring and metrics stuff down further, and as well as the kind of resource dependency pieces that you were talking about before. So we'll hop into those downstream. But I really do like this kind of picture that conceptualizes these big differences of again, high availability is a huge one. Plugin based is saying, we cover not just the things that, older ones used to cover, we cover a lot more. And drag and drop first, I think, are the big differentiators. And then this workflow platform is going to be, I think, more standard of what people come to expect with other workflow things. But it'll be interesting to see the ways in which you've kind of made your platform fit into this user-centric kind of design. So I think that was a really good overview. Thanks a lot for kind of filling us in there.